Hey everyone, it's Jason from Kinda Cool, and today I'm bringing you something that's even more than kinda cool. It's really cool. It's Classic Game Fest in Austin, Texas. So I did one of these videos last year for the 2021 edition, and figured why not do another one for 2022? It's pretty well received, and you guys seem to like it. So here we are, lined up, and here I am with my backpack all loaded up with trade fodder, and obviously waiting to load it up with some new items as well as they're inevitably picked up. And it's about 9:05 right now. We're a little late this year because, again, it's probably 15 or 20% more crowded than it even was the previous year. So I had some trouble getting parked in the parking garage, but that's not a big deal. So 5 minutes late is not a big deal, and I'm going to be okay with that. But here we are coming in for the first time. Kind of a wide sweeping view of all the retro awesomeness just out there ready to be consumed, ready to be sold. So kind of take you through all the booths, or not all the booths, but all, as many that I got video for. It takes a while to get all the booths, but here's the first one we jumped into. And if you've ever been to one of these before, or if you haven't, they're not just games. They've got things for all things pop culture, movies, television, old toys. You can see here they've got some old Masters of the Universe stuff, some old Star Wars and some new Star Wars up there. It looks like they got a Snake Mountain and a Castle Grayskull and a old Darth Vader action figure holder from the 80s. But you come here for the games, don't you? And they have plenty of games. So here we are. I think we're at Holy Grail Games right here, which is one of the bigger vendors that are there. And they always have tons of box, tons of loose, just tons of everything. And they'll wheel and deal with you a little bit on the price, but they're usually pretty proud of their stuff, so they don't come off a whole lot. So I end up not getting a lot of my stuff from Holy Grail Games. I end up going to kind of some of the smaller booths because I just get kind of more of that personal feel, where you can deal with them, talk to them, figure some stuff out. But it's not that I don't go to Holy Grail Games. And here we are there again, looking through the consoles. Looks like somebody's about to take a Dreamcast home. And I did have my eye on this Master System, though. Ended up not getting it, probably because had a lustful eye for even another system here that kind of one-upped it. You can see that one here in a second as I pan across, and that is a Panasonic Real player, 3DO. So, I've been wanting one of these for a while, but not here, not today. This didn't work out, but I'll keep an eye out in the future. But it's interesting to see. So here's the next booth here. We got a really cool looking neon green Xbox One controller and some other stuff. Looks like some GameCube and Switch stuff, and Game Boy Advance and DS stuff. Looks like some GameCube games and 64. And this is kind of indicative of how these booths look. So I'll have a random assortment, all sorts of different stuff. Some would be more focused on Sega than Nintendo, and some vice versa. Just like everything in life, pretty much. Some more consoles here. This looks like it might be Holy Grail again, actually, too. The way they have it wrapped up like that. There's a pretty nice looking top loader. Little mini television there. Somebody was looking at that when I was checking it out. And here's a nice looking collection of Sega CD and Saturn for all you Sega fans out there. Some moderate to intermediate titles here. Nothing heavy hitter, but some stuff that you wouldn't mind bringing home either. I didn't get anything. There's a Xeno Crisis for AES. And you're going to see the theme of this video is that there's a lot of AES stuff out there, a lot of Neo Geo. And this guy had some other rare stuff as well, along with some sealed stuff, which is obviously priced accordingly, but starting to see a little bit more sealed things out there become more of a thing. And so here we are. This is actually the Retro Stockpile booth, and he always has a lot of stuff I like. His stuff is right up my alley, and this time is no different. Again, we're talking about, I'm here kind of in the market for Neo Geo stuff, particularly an AES game maybe. So and he had some, and he wasn't the only one, but a lot of these caught my eye, I gotta say. So it was good to see that there was some selection out there, but he's not shy about bringing the TurboGrafx stuff either. Had some really good looking TurboGrafx, Turbo Duo, PC Engine. A few of these really caught my eye as well. Some really good stuff. And he's known for making these controllers, if you see at the top of the screen here. And I actually own a couple of these and done videos on these. That's the Retro Stockpile arcade sticks and Neo sticks. Really cool stuff. And here's some more, again, more Neo Geo. Different booth, but more Neo Geo. And these are really expensive, man. You got to pay to play to get one of these. So if you're going to bring one home, you got to be really careful you don't blow your entire budget on just one single title, because it can happen pretty quickly. But I was hoping to maybe do some wheeling and dealing here and either get the price down or have it bought, trade outright for it. There's a Mighty Final Fight right there, pretty cool. There's a sealed box of NES controllers. This is always cool. I'm a sucker for that. Some more AES games. Look at this Last Resort for $720. NAM 75 for $289. Super Baseball. So they got just the second Ghost Pilot I saw today, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you see multiples of AES titles because they're pretty rare. But they had, a lot of other different systems today. In fact, I caught some actual Atari Jaguar games at another booth, and boxed examples of Jaguar games. Did I get some of these from my buddy Joel at the Poor Man's Retro Game Room? I might have. Keep an eye on his channel, and can either confirm nor deny that some games may be heading his way. So These were really cool arcade marquees. They had Punch Out in 1942, 1943. I wish I'd panned through them a little bit more, but they were all pretty cool. This guy had some random assortment of different stuff, Game Boy Color stuff right there, and some miscellaneous Nintendo titles. Some of them a bit more rare than others. Pretty good assortment, but again, you know, there's cases and cases of coolness. You kind of gotta visually scan through and see if you can identify any targets you want. This guy had some really rare stuff. How about Snatcher on Sega CD? $1,200 for a loose copy. That ought to be all you get for one day, right? I didn't bring that one home either, but I did look at it, so I did admire it. He had some other good stuff here. This guy over here is going to be looking at this Tomba 2 here in a second and asking to take a look at it, and he does in fact go home with it, so I watched that Tomba 2 disappear right in front of my eyes. Not that I was too much in the market for one, but still, pretty cool little Sega setup right here that goes from Master System down to some intermediate solid Genesis titles. And there's a Gold Star 3DO and a Halo Edition Xbox and a fantastic blue N64. My buddy Asked the Cheese from Asked the Cheese Gaming actually had me out here looking for fantastic deals for him, and I was snapping pictures and texting them to him as I came across them. Unfortunately, we didn't close a deal on anything, but did get to send some opportunities his way to check out. I'll continue to keep looking for you out there, Cheese, and if I find a fantastic deal that's a good fit, you'll hear about it and we'll bring it home. When we say there's everything gaming out there, it's not just consoles. I mean, there's some old style handhelds like this and like old Speak and Spell, or was that what they call it? Speak and Say, whatever those were. Like E.T. had, whatever, I forget the name right now. This is an old Q*bert watch. And then, my wife is showing me Donkey. She loves Donkey Kong, so every time she sees a Donkey Kong title, she's gonna make sure I don't miss it. So this thing was kind of cool. It looked like they had converted looks like it once was a DVD prize game and a game prize game, and they had some moderate hitters in there, ones I wouldn't mind paying $1 for. So I gave it a whirl, but I didn't get anything. So I'm not a big gambling guy, so I didn't stick around and waste my money on that. But it was fun to try them on. So. And if you want alcohol, they got your fix here. They got some hard stuff there behind the bar there, or back behind the register, and they got some wine and some beer. And I didn't partake, but my wife did take a couple, I must say. So there's your fix for that. And then what would it be without an arcade, man? You can't have Classic Game Fest with an arcade, and they had one there this time. They had it kind of nestled in the back of the whole venue this time. And last year they had it in a specific room, but I like it better like this anyway. But I think it's Texas Gamers Lounge, I think is who sponsors the games here. They're based out of San Marcos, Texas, which is a little bit, you know, probably I'd say 30, 40, 50 miles away from where we're at. But they sponsor the arcade games here, and I think they do pretty much every year. And then Pinballs sponsors the pinball games, which are back on the other side. Pinballs is like our kind of local barcade. There's several of those throughout the Austin area as well. So, but yeah, they usually bring their heavy hitters out here. You get Mortal Kombat, Ninja Turtles. You get 4 people playing on the Ninja Turtles game over there. And, you know, most of them stayed pretty busy. They stayed pretty full, which is brings a tear to this old eye. So that's kind of cool. And you know I'm a Neo Geo fan, so I'm always looking for big reds. And they actually had, I think, about 3 big reds. So here's the Simpsons game. It's got a little bit of wear, but in pretty good shape. Nobody's actually on it. There's a four slot MVS right here. And looks like he's playing some SPC Chaos. And then a Super Street Fighter here. And shirts, man, they got clothing. And I try to get one every year I come, but last year I didn't get one, so I said this year I wasn't going to skip. So I was really keeping my eye out, looking for some good ones, looking for one that calls out to me. This one's kind of neat. Go green or go home with Yoshi. It's pretty neat. But I was looking for that one special one, and I figured I knew it when I found it. And so I kind of kept searching here. This Metroid was pretty cool. I always like Metroid. You got to have some Metroid clothes, right? You can't not. And they brought the heat this year, man. It was a difficult decision to just bring home one. My wife actually bought 2, and she's not a gamer, or a retro gamer, or a gamer of any sort, but she loves to come here and get these t-shirts. And it's usually the characters she knows. I think this year she got an Atari logo shirt and something else. I can't remember which one right offhand, but she always comes home with usually more shirts than I even do. But I said I'm not leaving without one, so I'm going to get one. There's some pretty neat looking Ghost and Goblin one. But this was the one. This is the one I settled on. It was calling out to me. You know I love my Final Fight, right? No doubt about that. And I really thought the artwork on this one was kind of popped. And this was the one. They only had one left in my actual size, so I took it as a sign and brought it home. But some of these Street Fighter ones were pushing up too, and I was definitely interested in those. Those are pretty cool. So and they work a deal with you the more you buy. So they tell you they'll give you 2 for $45, but they'll even go lower than that if you get any more than that. And lots of crafts here. So if you're looking to kind of spruce up your game room, there's always stuff out here. And I saw this booth last year and I remember thinking it was really cool. I didn't get anything last year. I didn't get anything this year either, but I always come by here and take a look at this stuff for like little interesting knick-knack type stuff for the game room. So they don't ever really let me down. They always have some good assortment of stuff. And I don't know if these are Pikmin characters or just regular. I don't know what these are really, but they were cool. And again, they kind of fit into the whole mold of just random knick-knacky type things. It's, you know, some people really love to fill their game room with those. I don't know if this is Pikmin. If you guys know what this is, in comments below. I see PD Prana over there. I know him. But if you know what these are, let me know, because I'm not entirely sure. But they are kind of neat little things. So, it's a cute little octopus thing. And then they have lots of art, just traditional art you can put up on the wall. Lots of, this is like a pixel art. I've seen this guy's booth quite a few times. I think I bought something a few years back from him, but I didn't buy anything this year. But he always has me looking, and he's always got some really interesting looking things. And this one too. There's several of these that caught my eye. I didn't bring one of these home, but there was a couple I think I kind of settled on at the end here where I kind of check them out. There's some Duck Hunt, Mario Kart, Final Fantasy VII, and Ninja Turtles, Doom, Earthbound. There's a pretty cool Ninja guy one right there. Super Mario World, Super Mario 3. Yeah, I thought this is the one. Metroid, Super Metroid. And also I'm a big Street Fighter guy, so this one's going to call out to me too. This was pretty cool, this Super Mario Star Box. And I think that's from Iron Man, right? Iron Man. This guy was a really talented artist, though. I mean, look at this Johnny 5 picture. I thought this was really cool from Short Circuit. I flipped through his book for a while, Mystery Science Theater, and he had a lot of really neat looking stuff. A really super talented artist. And it's really kind of mind blowing what these guys can do when they put pen to paper sometimes. And I didn't bring one of these home this year, but man, I was close on a couple of these. Close. There's a kind of a modern PC setup here, so. Classic Gaming Fest. I know this isn't exactly classic, but it is gaming. Like I said, they do all things gaming, so pretty cool little GameCube kiosk that you can kind of walk up and play. So we're checking out. Not to be outdone, you got the Commodore representing here for old school PCs. This was signed by the guy from LGR. I can't remember his name, but I can remember his voice. And this one's really kind of minty, kind of like flawless looking condition, really nice looking. This is Brian Collin. This is the creator of Rampage, amongst other games he created as well. He actually signed something for me last year, but not this year. I bet, he was really friendly. I love to chat with him. Just kind of pan around at some of the other guests. And then this guy was really cool. This is the guy that does the voice of all the NBA Jam stuff, so the Boom Shakalaka. He's on fire. This came from this guy. And for a few bucks, he built out whatever he wanted to say in the traditional NBA Jam voice, which is kind of cool. So if you wanted to do like a ringtone or something, I guess. He would do it for you. I didn't do it, but I did stick around his booth for a little while and watch people kind of check in and check out with the requests. So that was kind of neat. And lots of homebrew activity this year, and there usually is. I don't usually catch all the homebrew stuff, but I got some more of it this year. This guy was making stuff for the Turbo Duo, PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, specifically Turbo Duo. And some of these games are pretty simple. Some of them were really pretty cool. This was like a kind of a Yar's Revenge type kind of clone or knockoff, but it was really cool, really well done. This is Doodle World. All new game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, which we always need more of those, right? Can't have enough of those. So these guys are really nice too. And the game actually, they're pretty cool. I didn't pick one up, but pretty good stuff. And there's another NES homebrew game called Hazard. Let Us Out. This one with me. So good stuff. Really cool green cart, bright green cart, translucent cart. So there wasn't as much cosplay this year, but there was some. You see this Bayformers, Transformers. Bumblebee. It looks like it's missing the arm. I think they're getting it out of the box right now to check it on here and put it on. And then you gotta have Darth Vader, right? So we got Darth Vader, and that was pretty much the show, guys. So if you want to stick around and see what I got, I'll kick it off with this Ninja Spirit that I picked up for 65 bucks for the TurboGrafx 16. And so this game's been on my list for a while, and this is a really clean copy at a really good price, and there was no reason I shouldn't bring this one home. And I did. And so, one of my favorite games on the TurboGrafx 16, and one that I wanted to have physical in the collection, and now I do. So I mentioned the arcade marquees earlier, and I couldn't come home without this Punch-Out one, man. It's such a special arcade game for me. My son loves Punch-Out. It just ticked all the boxes, and I worked them down on the price to the point, I think it was 40 or 50 bucks. Do I collect these now? I don't know, maybe. All right, so Baseball Stars Professional for the MVS. This came from the Retro Stockpile booth, and he was actually willing to horse trade with me a little bit, and he took two of my PS2 games that were actually pretty high end, that were Wild Arms games, and so they were actually so valuable that they covered the price of this as well as this, which is Samurai Showdown on the AES. So I got my AES fix here for one of my favorite franchises on the Neo Geo. I have the second one of this one for the AES. I don't have the first. This is the English edition too. And it's really clean. It's got a little crack here on the top, but you know, these cases aren't always perfect. I think I can overlook that. And the cartridge itself and the manual are actually really good shape. Again, this is the English one, so manual looks to be in good overall condition, and the cartridge actually looks really good too. So this is one of those ones that I'm really excited to bring home. I think it's one of the more important games in the actual Neo Geo library. I know 2 is probably the better game, but it's definitely one that I wanted to show off on the shelf, and now I have it. So good to bring that into the collection. I also picked this up for the Atari Jaguar. So Tempest 2000. This is a game I know I enjoyed. I played this on the Saturn quite a bit. And I knew this is actually one that was really well received for the Jaguar. My buddy Joel, Foreman's Retro Game Room, actually has spoken highly of this one lately as well. Cartridge is in good shape, and it came with a manual. In fact, the manual looks pretty good. And then also, we got the little registration card for those of you that like to say this makes it 100% complete. I guess it pretty much is now, I guess. I'm not sure if this one had an overlay. It's not in there, but anyways. Finally, Metal Slug X, at least for the games. This was a kind of to balance out the deal a little bit. Retro Stockpile was like, well, we're still a little bit kind of over for price. You pick something you want. I said, how about this? He said, you got it. And then we talked about the shirt, Final Fight. Can't not include it, right? This is cool. Like the artwork on here. Love Jessica, Mike, Cody, Guy. Just looks good. Had to bring it home. All right, guys, that's it. Tune in to my channel next time. I hope to show you something kind of cool.